Boo! Did I scare you? Hi there, it's Timmy Joe. I'm here. Got a monitor. Trying to switch things up a little bit too. But this isn't a review. This is just a kind of first impressions, talk about some things and stuff. But this is it's so big I can't even fit in a frame. This is a 4K monitor, and I wanted to ask you guys the question: is 4K on a budget even worth it? Cue an intro. We'll talk all about it. Ah! Turn back on. Turn back on. Turn back on. Can you do it? There. Hi there, it's Timmy Joe. So this is a monitor, and I bought it, and I wanted to talk a little bit about my decisions behind this monitor. Now, this isn't a full-on review or anything like that, but I wanted to give my first impressions on this AOC. I'll give you the model number. Hold on. U2879VF, as in virtual frogs, because that makes sense. No, this is a $320 American 4K monitor. It's 28 inches, it's 60 hertz, and it actually has some fairly decent specifications considering it's 4K and it's huge. Now, I had an Asus 27-inch 1080p monitor before, and the reason why I bought this was, number one, content creation. I was tired of the limitations 1080p brings to content creation and having, editing, picture editing, and web pages open and stuff like that. And I wanted to take it to the next level, and I was actually willing to go to a 1440p monitor, but this was cheaper than any. Actually, the closest was for $20 more, I could get an AOC 1440p monitor that was 70 hertz, but I had a hard time even tracking one down that I could get shipped very easily to me. So I bought this one, and it comes with some drawbacks, as you would imagine, but its closest relative is $879.99 with similar specs on the Asus side, and that is, these are both TN panels, but the ROG PG27AQ has very similar specifications, with the exception of this having FreeSync and that Asus monitor having G-Sync, and it's $879, so over double the price. So, and if we're talking American dollars here, I bought this for $420 Canadian, just so you know, so it's a little bit more expensive here, but, whatever. But still a very, very good deal. So what's the downside? What's the budget? What am I losing by spending $320 US on a 4K 28-inch monitor? There's got to be some drawbacks. Well, so far I can say that compared to my Asus 27-inch monitor, it doesn't look much different. As in, the colors don't, pop. They're both matte displays, they're both TN panels, they're both 60 hertz, and side by side, the resolution is obviously a lot greater on this monitor, and it looks pretty nice, and it's new, so there isn't a lot of light problems with it, or light bleed or anything like that. But comparatively, the image quality compared to my I think I spent $280 or whatever 4 years ago on this 1080p 27-inch monitor, and I'm not wowed by the change in the appearance of the image. Now, a couple reasons why I bought 4K. I wanted to test high-end graphics cards, and you need a high-end display to do so. Content creation, I want to fit more on the screen, and just the value in this, it's a pretty good deal for what you're getting. It's actually an inch bigger than the monitor I'm used to, and it's just like, wow. But huge drawback right here. This is as far as this goes. There's no swivel. It's just up and down. There's no VESA mount on this. There's only one HDMI input. Now, there is a DisplayPort, there's a DVI, and a VGA, so there are four inputs on this monitor. But my old monitor had two HDMIs, which was kind of nice. Now, this is HDMI 2.0, and it does have FreeSync. So I'm trying to get that working right now with the 7970, but I don't have a high-end AMD graphics card. I'm looking at these boxes behind here. I don't have a high-end Radeon Radeon graphics card to test FreeSync, but as soon as I do, I will report. I'd like to do a full review on this once I've put it through all its paces. But so far, 4K on a budget I don't think is the greatest idea for most people, because budget kind of means you've probably budgeted out on your graphics card, which means you're not going to be pushing the pixels on this thing. I notice that my computer with this graphics card, the 7970, is struggling. Now, it's as soon as a couple days from now, I'm going to have a much better graphics card to test out on this. Hold on, I've just been waiting for the right time to tell you guys, but I will be getting a higher end graphics card to test on this thing for sure. Yeah, you need, at least I'd say a 1060 RX 480 to run this monitor just, for everyday tasks, and to run 60 hertz 4K on it. And then, if you don't have a 1070, 1080, 1080 Ti, you're going to be very disappointed if you ever decide in-game to switch over to 4K, unless you're doing it on some really old titles or something like that. So, in the end, 4K, I think, is not the greatest idea for this generation of graphics cards, unless you've bought a 1070, 1080, 1080 Ti. But I'm looking forward to the next generation, because I think that will be the generation where even the 1050 or the 2050 or whatever it is going to be able to run games at 4K at medium settings, and that's what I'm looking forward to. But so far, the few times I've tried to load 4K settings, even on like Dirt or like Dirt 3 or in Counter-Strike, it seemed like it was more trouble than it was worth, and I just ended up switching to 1440p resolution to scale things a little bit better. It seemed like it was weird in game, but we'll get to a full review eventually. I'm Timmy Joe. If you have any questions about this, it's got a little menu here. It has picture-in-picture, which is pretty cool, but it does it has 4 inputs. It's got buttons that are under here, which is super annoying. I just turned off the monitor. So it's got a little menu here, that lets you switch between things. There's lots of color modes. I seem to, have it set the way I'd like it. It does a picture-in-picture. It doesn't have any speakers, which is kind of annoying. Just quickly plugging in an HDMI won't allow you to hear anything. You will have to connect external speakers. Not that I use that very often anyways, but it does come in handy when you're switching between, different computers and stuff like that on your monitor. But yeah, in the end, I'll let you guys know how I feel about 4K, but in my honest opinion, I don't think it's ready for the mainstream. And go for 1440p higher refresh rate. Go for 1080p higher refresh rate. But 4K, 60 hertz, even at $320, is gonna be a little more trouble than it's worth. I'm at Watch Timmy Joe on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks very much for watching this video. I know it was kind of just a quick look at this monitor, but I like it. You guys have a good day, and I will see you in the next video.